Hello everyone, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Have you ever wondered how the small white crystals known as monosodium glutamate are actually produced inside a modern factory? Millions of people use this seasoning every single day to enhance the flavor of their meals, yet very few truly understand the fascinating science and industrial process behind it. In this video, we will explore the complete journey of MSG production from agricultural raw materials all the way to the final packaged product you see in kitchens around the world. And by the end of this video, I'll also share some useful information about how this seasoning is commonly used in everyday cooking. Before we begin, let me know in the comments, which country are you watching from and what time is it there right now? The modern food production facilities are some of the most sophisticated industrial environments in the world. Inside these massive factories, thousands of tons of ingredients move through carefully designed systems every day. The production of monosodium glutamate, commonly known as MSG, begins in facilities like these. Large stainless steel tanks, automated pipelines, and advanced control systems ensure that every stage of production operates with extreme precision. Engineers constantly monitor temperature, pressure, and chemical composition to maintain consistent product quality. Interestingly, the process used to produce MSG today is very similar to natural fermentation processes used in food for centuries. Instead of simple cooking, however, modern factories rely on advanced biotechnology and large-scale industrial equipment. What I personally find fascinating about this stage is the incredible level of automation involved. Entire production lines can operate continuously while engineers supervise the process from digital control rooms. But to understand how MSG is created, we first need to look at where the raw materials come from. Although MSG is a highly refined food ingredient, its origins begin with simple agricultural crops. The most common raw materials include sugarcane, cassava, corn, or sugar beets, plants rich in natural carbohydrates. These crops are harvested and processed to extract starch or sugar, which later becomes the primary nutrient source for microorganisms during fermentation. In modern production systems, consistency of raw materials is extremely important. Even small variations in sugar concentration can affect the efficiency of the fermentation process. Factories therefore work closely with agricultural suppliers to ensure stable supply and quality standards. Raw crops are carefully inspected before entering the production line, where impurities and contaminants are removed. What I find particularly interesting is how a common farm crop can eventually become a highly refined seasoning used worldwide. The journey from field to factory is an essential part of the entire process. Once the raw materials arrive at the plant, the next step begins with harvesting, logistics, and transportation. The journey of MSG production continues in the agricultural fields where crops such as sugarcane, cassava, and corn are harvested. Modern harvesting machines help collect large quantities of crops efficiently, ensuring a stable supply of raw materials for the factory. After harvesting, the crops are transported by trucks to processing facilities. At the factory entrance, every shipment is carefully weighed, inspected, and recorded before entering the production line. This step ensures that the raw materials meet strict quality standards. But what happens next may surprise you. These simple agricultural crops are about to undergo a transformation that will eventually produce one of the world's most widely used flavor enhancers.
We need to load the fertilizer onto the green truck first. Make sure the count is accurate.
Understood, Supervisor. We will double check the...
Before any biochemical process begins, the raw materials must first be cleaned and prepared. At this stage, the crops are washed thoroughly to remove soil, dust, and other impurities. Next, powerful industrial machines crush and grind the materials into smaller particles. This step allows the valuable starch or sugar inside the plants to be extracted more efficiently. Large filtering systems then separate fibers and unwanted residues, producing a clean liquid mixture ready for further processing. In my opinion, this stage plays a critical role in ensuring the stability of the entire production process. With the raw material now transformed into a usable solution, the next step prepares it for a fascinating biochemical reaction. At this stage, the extracted starch solution enters specialized reactors where enzymes break it down into simple sugars, mainly glucose. These large tanks carefully control temperature and pH to create the ideal conditions for the reaction. Inside the reactors, some industrial mixers keep the liquid moving while enzymes gradually convert complex carbohydrates into fermentable sugars. This glucose solution will soon become the main nutrient source for microorganisms in the next stage. What I personally find fascinating about this step is how modern biotechnology can transform plant starch into a precise biochemical ingredient used in fermentation. But the next stage is where the real transformation begins. The heart of MSG production lies in fermentation. In enormous fermentation tanks, special microorganisms are introduced into the glucose solution. These microorganisms naturally convert sugar into glutamic acid through a carefully controlled biochemical process. Air, temperature, and nutrient levels must all be precisely controlled to maintain the ideal environment for microbial growth. Inside the tanks, powerful mixers and aeration systems keep the fermentation process stable. Over time, the concentration of glutamic acid gradually increases in the liquid. In my opinion, this stage is one of the most remarkable parts of the entire production process because it combines natural biological activity with modern industrial technology. Soon, this glutamic acid will be transformed into the familiar white crystals known as MSG. Once fermentation is complete, the liquid solution now contains a high concentration of glutamic acid. In this stage, the acid is carefully neutralized with sodium to form monosodium glutamate, or MSG. Inside large industrial reactors, temperature and chemical balance are tightly controlled. As the reaction proceeds, the solution begins to cool, allowing tiny white crystals to slowly form. In this process is known as crystallization. What I personally find fascinating is watching how a clear liquid gradually transforms into solid crystals through precise chemical control. It's a perfect example of science applied at industrial scale. The next step may surprise you because these crystals are still not ready for packaging. They must first pass strict quality checks. Before MSG reaches consumers, it must pass a series of strict quality tests. Samples are taken from the production line and sent to laboratory facilities inside the factory. Technicians examine the crystals using advanced instruments to measure purity, moisture levels, and particle size. These tests ensure that the product meets food safety standards and maintains consistent quality. Modern factories rely heavily on automated testing equipment that can analyze chemical composition with incredible precision. In my opinion, this stage is essential because even small variations could affect the final product. Once the product passes these tests, it moves to the next stage where the crystals are dried and refined.
The quality data shows a significant deviation right here. See the drop in stability.
I agree, but the crystal formation looks correct. Let's re-examine the batch consistency.
After quality testing, the wet MSG crystals are transferred to large industrial drying systems. Heated air flows through the crystals, removing moisture and stabilizing the product. These drying machines operate continuously, ensuring that every crystal reaches the correct texture and stability for storage. The crystals are then sorted by size using vibrating screens and automated filters. This step helps create the uniform crystal appearance that consumers recognize in packaged MSG products. What I personally find interesting is how precise control of temperature and airflow determines the final texture of the seasoning. Once the crystals are perfectly dried and refined, they are ready to move to the packaging line. In the packaging hall, automated machines carefully measure and fill precise amounts of MSG into consumer packages. Conveyor belts move thousands of packages through filling, sealing, and labeling systems every hour. Modern packaging lines are highly automated. Robots and sensors monitor the weight of each package to ensure accuracy and consistency. In my opinion, this stage highlights how industrial automation allows factories to produce large quantities of food products efficiently while maintaining strict quality standards. Once packaged, the finished product is ready to be shipped to markets around the world. From the factory, packaged MSG products are transported to distribution centers and warehouses. Large logistics networks help deliver the seasoning to supermarkets, restaurants, and food manufacturers around the world. Forklifts, automated sorting systems, and shipping trucks all play a role in moving the finished product efficiently. It's fascinating to think that a product created through complex biotechnology inside a factory will soon become part of everyday cooking in homes and restaurants everywhere. And finally, the last stage shows how this ingredient is used in daily life.
Bring it in.
Okay, bring it straight back, nice and slow. Watch the clearance on the left. A little more. All right, easy down. Clear.
Make sure the pallet count matches the manifest.
We need to prioritize the international.
MSG is widely used in cooking because it enhances the natural umami flavor of food. A small amount can improve the taste of soups, sauces, stir-fried dishes, and many other recipes.
I need that garnish
However,
now,
like any
please.
seasoning, it should be used in moderation. Most food experts recommend adding MSG in small amounts while cooking rather than directly onto finished dishes. For best results, store MSG in a cool and dry place and follow the recommended usage instructions from the manufacturer. In my opinion, what makes MSG so interesting is how a complex industrial process eventually produces a simple ingredient that millions of people use every day in their kitchens.
Family dinner atmosphere.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of this video. If you found this production process interesting, please comment one below. If you think the video could be better, feel free to comment 0 and share your thoughts. Also tell me in the comments, what production process would you like to see in the next video? Your support truly motivates me to keep creating more factory documentary videos like this. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing it with your friends.
I need 2 steaks, medium rare, right now. Let's go, move it. Working on the garnish, coming right up.
See how I pinch the salt? You want an even sprinkle, just like that. Now you give it a go.
Got it, chef. I'm serious, this is the best you've ever made.
Oh, stop. You're just saying that because you're hungry.
He's right though, Mom. To the chef.